Hello everyone, welcome back to Pod Planet Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we are going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. But not that one. That one. But before I begin, I am doing a movie giveaway of Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle digital copy. Go to my previous video where you will get the details for that on how you can win. The winner will be announced this Saturday. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released in 2010 and it stars Jackie Earle Haley, Rooney Mara, Kyle Gallner, Katie Cassidy, and Thomas Dekker. It was directed by Samuel Bayer and is produced by Richard Brenner, Mike Drake, Walter Hamara, Michael Lynn, Dave Neustadter, and Robert Shea. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street, as you know, the original one was released in the 80s, and it's one of the best horror movies of all time. I actually really like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's a really good movie. I have not talked about it on my channel, but I will at some point. But I am going to talk about the reboot because I watched it last night and it was awful. So awful that if this disc didn't also contain a good movie, I would snap it in half. This movie sucks. Sucks. Like a lot, dude. Actually, you know what? That was very disrespectful to the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I do apologize for that. An actual good movie. Okay. So, as you know, it's about, this guy named Freddy Krueger, and he kills these children in their dreams, or these teenagers in their dreams, and they have to try and figure out how to beat him, and they have to try and figure out how to stay awake. You know how it goes. Anyway, so that's A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? So this is just a reboot of it. Now, before I get into my cons, because there are quite a few, let's get into my pros. This should only take about 8 seconds. The music in this movie is pretty eerie. I actually liked the music. I mean, it's not something you can, listen to when you're driving or anything, but it's eerie and it helps set the tone well. It has its moments. There's a few, cool moments in it. Like, this is seeing this library or a bookstore or whatever it was. I thought was pretty cool. Jackie Earle Haley, he plays Freddy Krueger in this one. It is not, what's the original guy's name? Crap, I forget. Something Edlund? Oh, man, I'd have to look it up. But anyways, it's not the same guy. It's Robert Edlund, I think. It's a different guy now. And his name is Jackie Earle Haley. I actually thought he did a really good job in this movie. I enjoyed his performance. And the ending climax of this movie is pretty cool. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers for this movie, just letting you know that, because I don't care about protecting you from spoilers from this movie. Don't watch it. The ending climax when the two kids fight Freddy, because in the original, they bring Freddy out of the dream world and into the real world. The real world. And so a couple of the characters battle him, and then that's a pretty cool scene. Okay, so like I said, that didn't take very long. Now let's get into all my cons. This should take about 2 hours. So Freddy looks really awful in this movie. Like, really awful. I don't know who designed him, but he looks stupid. I hate the way he looks in this movie. He looks so bad. The acting in this movie is not very good. Some of the acting in it is, pretty solid. But, there's this one actor. I don't remember her name. But she plays the character Chris. She plays her mom, right? I don't know who this actress is, but she needs to stop forever because she was so bad in this movie. Every time she's on screen, I was like, that is not good. She was really bad in it. And I feel kind of bad for criticizing someone's acting, because acting, when you're acting, especially in a movie, there's a lot of pressure on you to do well. And I know that acting is not near as easy as it looks, as some actors make it look. So, but I got to point out the fact that she was really freaking terrible. So terrible. Some of the things that some of the characters say in this movie make no sense. Like the mom character I was just talking about, she, at some point in the movie, she says, Who remembers anything from when they were 5 years old? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I can remember quite a few things from that time in my life. So, what are you trying to say? That nobody can remember that time in their life? I have some memories from that time. What is she talking about? What's your logic here, lady? Are you saying that nobody can remember being 5 years old? I remember that time in my life pretty well. I mean, what? Okay, so there's one character in the movie, his name is Jesse. He has a lot of dumb logic, just like what I explained to you. He has a lot of dumb logic. He says things that are just like that 5-year-old comment that just are like, what, dude, that makes no sense. The character Chris in this movie, she always looks hot every time she's on screen. She'll get like no sleep, but the next day she'll look absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It recycles a lot. This movie recycles a lot of ideas from the original, and it doesn't do them as well. I thought, like, okay, come on, like, can you be a little bit more original here? Like, we've already seen this before, done better. Like, you're not. It's pretty predictable. There are several times in this movie where I was like, I bet this is about to happen, and then it would happen. The main character in this movie changes multiple times. First you think it's Chris, then you think it's Jesse, and then whatever the girl at the, I don't even remember her name, whatever the other girl is, then she becomes the main character. So it's like the main character keeps changing because the characters keep dying. Again, I'm spoiling it, I don't give a crap. Chris dies and Jesse dies, and then you got this other character. Why does the main character keep changing? Like in this movie, make up its mind, who is the focus of this film? If you've seen the original movie, then you already know the mystery here, kind of like, so like the kids are trying to investigate, figure out who Freddy Krueger is. If you've seen the original, you already know who he is. Like, so what's the point of this movie? But it changes it a little bit though, because he goes from being a child murderer to a pedophile. Freddy Krueger is a pedophile. Who thought that'd be a good idea to make Freddy freaking Krueger a pedo? Okay, all right, so the premise of it, though, is that he's going after these kids that he was creeping on when they were, because he was a gardener at their preschool, and he's creeping on the kids now that they're older, and he, because, the kids' parents, like, burned him alive and stuff, you know how it goes. So, he's creeping on the kids, right? And none of the kids can remember any of it. Like, he had, like, a sex dungeon that he would take them to and stuff, which is already awful, but the kids don't remember any of it. And again, it's going to that logic of you don't remember anything from that time period. I have quite a few memories from that time in my life. I really do. I can remember that time in my life pretty well. I mean, obviously not as well as I could have, 15 years ago, but I remember that time in my life pretty well. So, and the kids in this movie are supposed to be younger than me. So, why they would not remember any of this, I don't know. I'm sure there are some cases of this actually happening in real life. It's just, if there was a gardener at my preschool who was creeping on me, I would remember that. For sure, I would remember that. I would not forget that. Okay, because I remember things that are far less significant from preschool than that. So, I don't think that logic really works. At some point in the movie, there's this character named Quentin, and he's on the school swim team. This man falls asleep while he's swimming. I don't know about you, but I've never fallen asleep while I'm racing in water. He's racing other students back and forth across the pool, and then he falls asleep. Okay, you can argue that, oh, he was tired, so he fell asleep. But, dude, he's swimming, and he's racing. I don't think that makes sense. In my opinion, that makes no sense. Okay, again, Freddy's a pedo. Okay, so they find the dude's dungeon, right? Quentin, and whatever the third main character's name is. They find his dungeon because he lived at the preschool, but like he had like a little mini hidden room, and they go to find it, right? And there's this like tack board that's like set up to block it, right? And she's like, they go into this preschool, and she's like, "There's something back there." She takes one glance at it, and she's like, "There's something back there." And then Quentin takes the board off, and then sure enough, they found his little room. How does she know it was back there? It doesn't show you like a flashback of like her remembering it or anything. So how she knows it's back there, I don't know. Because she goes in the room and she's like, "I remember this." Okay, so you didn't remember it when you were outside of the room. So how did you know it was back there? Please explain. Because it doesn't show her having a flashback to like going in there so that she can remember. So she just takes one look at it and she's like, "There's something back there." This movie's garbage. I hated it. And don't watch it. Don't watch this movie. Ever. Save yourself the embarrassment. Save yourself the humiliation. Save yourself the time you will spend pouring bleach in your eyes. This is bad. Okay? Okay. Glad we understand each other. I'm going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 a 30 out of 100. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Potty Player Entertainment for more, and be sure to hit the like button. Leave movie reviews suggestions down in the comments down below. But don't request bad movies. Actually, you know what? Go ahead and request bad movies. I don't care. Follow me on Instagram at Potty Player Entertainment for channel updates, and much love.